Hey kids, this is Ivan. How you doing? Still a little behind. It's day 24 of RPG A Day 2023, although I'm making this on the 25th. So the prompt for today, or question, is a complex slash simple RPG that you play. And not surprisingly, the bolded part is complex slash simple. And of course, and if you've watched this channel for any length of time, you'll know that, I have a certain soft spot for games that are a little more rules light or simpler. And I've learned this about myself. One of the reasons for that, is because I like to focus on, having a more in-character experience. But having said that, that doesn't mean that more complex games can't allow me to do the same thing. My friends and I have had many discussions, and, I've come to the realization that very often, what makes an RPG complex or simple has a lot more to do with me than it does with the product. Not always. Sometimes things are just god-awful and they're badly designed, but that's a different story. This is Positivity Day, Ivan. But there are games that are really, really heavy in terms of rules or procedures. There are things that, very often what finally happens is they're presenting things in ways that I don't necessarily learn as well, so I forget them. It's harder for me to recall what I'm supposed to do. It makes me less comfortable. And likewise, there's games that are really, really simple or bare bones, but they're so bare bones that you're really not sure what you're supposed to do sometimes. And, that can feel, that can present a problem as well. So I find, very often it's, at the end of the day, I like an RPG that ends up becoming simple for me to run or to play, regardless of how complex or how simple it actually is. And that has a lot to do with my learning style. It has a lot to do with what I like to focus on and don't like to focus on. A lot of personal preference. And so very often, we can be surprised by what we actually find complex and simple. What do you think?